If I cannot bring you comfort, then at least
What's your name?
Joni Haynes.
And what are 3 words you'd use to describe Mr. Baxter?
Funny, caring, and compassionate. I think my first impression of Mr. Baxter was that he had a very kind face and a big smile, and I thought he was going to be perfect for our students.
And then what's a funny memory or favorite memory?
I don't know that I have funny memory, like one that sticks out, because Mr. Baxter always is smiling and laughing. I think we've had several moments where we've just sat next to each other at a meeting or at some event, and we've always enjoyed each other's company. Very humorous, and I think he likes to laugh a lot.
And then just some words of advice or something you'd like to say to him.
I'd like to say thank you very much, Mr. Baxter, because every time I call up to the counseling office when somebody else wasn't available, Mr. Baxter always took my calls, and he was always ready to help any student, even if it wasn't somebody in his alpha. And I'll say many happy trails to you. I know you're going to be doing a lot of traveling during your retirement, and again, wonderful adventures in your future, and hope someday that we can travel together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, John, it's Abby, and I just wanted to say you've been a kind-hearted person that I've loved just so dearly, and you're definitely going to be missed in the department as well as at our site. 3 words to describe you: loving, caring, and authentic. And I will never forget the trip that we took to Greece, and we spent it up at Athens. So love you, and you're going to miss dearly.
Hi, what's your name?
Lupita Rodriguez.
And what was your first impression of Mr. Baxter?
That he was friendly and kind, very sweet, very welcoming.
And what are 3 words you'd use to describe him?
Kind, very giving, and very empathetic.
And what's a funny memory you've shared with him?
One time I dog sat for him, and I stepped out. I was watching the dog, and then I stepped out because I had to run an errand. And then I came back, and Augie, the dog, had gone upstairs, and he scratched up the carpet leading into the guest room. And I was freaking out. And I think Mr. Baxter was in Egypt. He was far. And I was freaking out because I thought he was going to be very mad at me because I let the dog go up there and tear the carpet. And then he comes back, and, I tell him. And it turns out he was going to tear out the carpet himself. So Augie just got it started.
And then what are just some words you'd like to say to Mr. Baxter?
That I love him very, very much. That I'm thankful for our friendship. And that I hope he has the time of his life after retirement.
All right, what's your name?
My name is Marilyn Soto.
And what was your first impression of Miss Spring?
My first impression was that she's a total goofball.
And then what are 3 words you'd use to describe her?
I would describe her as a prankster, bougie, and a kind heart. My favorite memory with her is when she got mistaken by Nancy Banuelos.
And what are just some words you'd like to say to her?
Some words are going to be that we're definitely going to miss her here. The office is not going to be the same, and we're definitely going to not miss her putting all her junk in all of our offices.
All right, what's your name?
Bronwyn Daly.
And what was your first impression of Miss Spring?
When I first saw Miss Spring, I remember thinking how cute she was. She's a pretty lady.
And what are 3 words you'd use to describe her?
So for Miss Spring, she's super funny. She's super helpful. You can ask her anytime for help, and she will help you. And she's super, super kind.
And what's a funny or favorite memory that you have?
So I feel like I have a few with Miss Spring, but the one that I'll tell you about is, so one day we all get a text message from Mrs. Spring, or Miss Spring, and it's a picture of her with her front tooth gone, and I mean gone. So we all were like, what happened to you? She acted like it was, I don't know, like she got punched or something. Not in a bad way, but her tooth was gone, and I could not believe it, and I died laughing when I saw this picture because it was so funny.
And then, what are just some words you'd like to say to her?
I'd like to wish her the best retirement ever. I want her to know how much we'll miss her. She's a total joy to have around. She brings a lot of fun and happiness to this office. So, Erin, we'll miss you.
Okay. What's your name?
I'm Mr. Baxter, John Baxter.
And what was your first impression of Miss Spring?
Miss Spring. When I first met her, well, she's the one that has been here the longest of our department, me and Miss Spring. And my first impressions of her are kind of the same as my impressions now. She's very energetic. She's very fun to work with, and she cares a lot about her own family as well as her school family, her students, and she has a big heart. Okay, the 3 words I came up with are funny, kind, and spirited.
And then, what's a funny moment or a favorite moment that you have shared with Miss Spring?
Okay, well, first of all, there are lots of funny moments with Miss Spring, but one that comes to mind was she texted us one morning that she was gonna be late for work because she broke one of her teeth. And she, for some reason, she thought maybe we wouldn't believe her, so she sent us a picture of her smiling with one of her front teeth missing. And we thought, I mean, it wasn't funny to her at that time, but we thought it was funny because then we printed out the picture she sent and we plastered it all over the office.
And then, what are some words of advice or just something you'd like to say?
Okay, my words of advice for Mrs. Spring was, you have worked all this time devoted to your students and dealing with all kinds of situations with students and parents, and you've also had a lot of stuff going on in your own family. Your son just got married this week, and she's had other stuff going on. And now it's time for you to go retire. You've earned it. You deserve it. Go live your best life and just enjoy the rest of it.
Okay, what's your name?
Miss Roselli.
And then, what was your first impression of Miss Harrison?
She was very passionate about what she was doing and very, very kind to her students.
And then, what are 3 words that you would use to describe Miss Harrison?
Sweet, spunky, and very helpful.
And then, what is your favorite memory or funny memory that you have with this?
When we traveled to Atlanta, Georgia together for a conference, we had a lot of fun and maybe had some mischief involved.
And what are just some words that you'd like to tell her?
We will miss you so much. The biomed program was better for having you in it, and we're all gonna miss you.
Okay, what's your name?
My name's Kat Mellon.
And what was your first impression of Miss Harrison?
Well, I met Miss Harrison forever ago, and she came in as a new health teacher, and she was just really sweet, and the kids loved her right off the bat, and she's just really easy to talk to and get along with. So.
And what are 3 words you'd use to describe her?
3 words. Big-hearted, kind, and genuine.
And what's a favorite memory that you have with her?
I have lots of favorite memories since we have gone on conferences together, and I would say my favorite is going to be when we went down to the Board Teachers Comedy Show not too long ago, and the 3 of us just our road trip down there, and we took a bunch of selfies and just did a lot of laughing. I mean, it was a really great time to just hang out with her and get her out of the school, and just, it was so much fun.
Just what are some words that you'd like to say to her?
Well, you're going to be missed terribly. I know the kids love you. Of course, I love you. Many of us teachers do. And you have been a really amazing part of our school, and it's going to be noticeable when you leave. I really hope that you have some great adventures out there, though, and that you have an amazing time with your donkeys and all your chickens, and just living the kind of life where it's a little bit less stressful and you feel more appreciated, because I just want you to know for sure you are appreciated, and I love you.
What's your name?
I'm Taylor Wood.
And what was your first impression of Miss Harrison?
That she's really down to earth and kind and very patient.
And what are 3 words you'd use to describe her?
Kind, patient. Oh man, I don't know if there's a word to describe down to earth in one go. Polite.
And what's like a favorite or funny memory you have with Miss Harrison?
The first time I got to hang out with her, like outside of a classroom setting, was going to a conference with her and just getting to like share stories about our past and like actually getting to know each other as people beyond just coworkers back in 2019 was a lot of fun and really humanized both of us, and it was a good time.
That's good. And then what are some words that you'd like to say to her?
I hope you have a really nice time wherever it is that you're going, and that you and your donkeys and your chickens just enjoy the weather wherever you are.
I will remember you.
Alrighty. What's your name?
My name is Miss Pena. I am one of the counselors. I'm the biomed counselor.
Okay. And what was your first impression of Miss McLernan and Mixwood?
So Mix Wood, very tall and cool shoes all the time. And Miss McLernan, very quiet but super sweet. And one of the coolest things about her is that so many students genuinely love her. Like they really gravitate towards her, which is really nice.
What are 3 words to describe Mixwood and Miss McLernan?
Vibrant, authentic, and principled for Mixwood. And for McLernan, plant lover, creative, and brilliant.
And then what's a funny memory you've shared with them?
Oh my god. So this one is combined because every single time I'm saying something that I shouldn't be saying out loud. I probably shouldn't be saying it. One of them walks in and we make eye contact and we just stare at each other and we're like, and we just laugh, or they come in and they're like, what does that mean? And I have to be like, well, and I explain it, and it happens so often that it's pretty ridiculous. So every single time we just make eye contact. But another funny thing specifically about Mixed Wood is that they like to eat very crunchy snacks in the quietest places. Like we'll be in a conference or something and all of a sudden you just hear carrots or an apple, and I'm just like, well, we're all quiet waiting for, and then they just look at us like, I'm hungry, and we're like, all right, thank you, keep eating, all right. So they're really funny, they're really sweet.
And then what are just some words you'd like to say to them?
I wish you both nothing but excitement and kindness at your new place of work, and you both deserve that and way more at your new place of work, and we're gonna miss you guys very much. It's not gonna be the same.
All right, what's your name?
Miss Roselli.
And what was your first impression of Miss McLernan?
Super willing to help and always there when I needed something.
And what are 3 words you'd use to describe her?
Serious, sarcastic, and fun.
And what's a funny moment you've shared with Miss McLernan?
I just enjoy when her and I are able to hang out with just the 2 of us and laugh about things that we wouldn't be able to talk about while we're teaching or being professionals.
Mm-hmm. And then what are some words you'd like to say to her?
I'm so glad that you guys are moving into your dream area, and I can't wait to see you at your wedding.
What's your name?
Sarah McLernan.
And what was your first impression of Mixwood?
That they were really tall.
And what are 3 words to describe Mixwood?
Loud, energetic, colorful.
Colorful. Okay, and then what's a funny moment you've shared with them?
A funny moment?
A funny or favorite?
Oh. I think favorite moments is just kind of being able to like work together on things. Anytime we've been able to like go to conferences together, it's been a lot of fun. Or just being able to like sit down at lunch and enjoy our lunches together has been really nice.
Great. And then, what is just something you want to say to them?
Congratulations on your move. I'm really excited to be doing this with you.
All right, what's your name?
Miss Roselli.
And what was your first impression of Mixwood?
Super bright, colorful, and fun.
And what are 3 words to describe them?
Funny, serious, and bright.
And what's a funny moment you shared with them?
Anytime that we get to work together in anything for biomed where we're collaborating with just the 2 of us, just being able to look over and know that we're both thinking the same thing is my favorite.
And then what are just some words for them?
I'm gonna miss you very much. And thanks for being my best friend.
Oh. What's your name?
Joni Haynes.
And what are 3 words you would use to describe Miss McLernan?
Smart, compassionate, and sassy.
And what was your first impression of her?
I don't want to embarrass her, but when I first met her, I thought she was absolutely adorable. She had the cutest little haircut, and she came on here, and she was just so sweet. And yeah, she was definitely adorable.
Okay, and then do you have like a funny memory or a favorite time you guys shared?
I'm just gonna say what happens in Arrowhead stays in Arrowhead.
Okay.
No, we go up there for biomed meetings and stuff, and we've had some fun activities and playing games and things. So it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, and then just some words of advice or something you'd like to top it off with.
I just say I wish you the best of luck in your next ventures. You've been a wonderful person on our campus, and I know that whoever gets to work with you in the future is going to have a really, really wonderful colleague.
Thank you. Alright, what's your name?
Ashley Hadamia.
And what was your first impression of Miss Lee?
She kind of scared me. She intimidated me. But then I realized she's like really nice.
And then what are 3 words you would use to describe her?
She's smart, she's helpful, and she's funny.
And then what's a funny or favorite memory that you have with Miss Lee?
When we would go on like shopping trips, and when we would miss our exits or almost miss our exits.
And then what are some words of advice or just like something you like to say to her?
Probably to make friends. She mentioned that she took forever to make friends when she started here, so make friends sooner.
Alright, what's your name?
Coach Wright.
And what was your first impression of Miss Lee?
Miss Lee, my first impression was that she was short, smart, intelligent, and very quiet.
And what are 3 words that you use to describe her?
3 words to describe her? Yeah, my kind of girl.
And what's a favorite moment or a funny moment that you've had with her?
I've had a lot of moments with her at the district office, professional development, but I think my most favorite memory is watching her come out of her shell at a PD when we were like doing like some dances, and I got to see her actually open up.
And then what are just some words you'd like to say to her?
She's gonna do great. You better come back and see me.
What's your name?
My name is Joseph Small.
And what was your first impression of Miss Lee?
My first impression of Miss Lee was that she was very shy, which she is not now.
And what are 3 words to describe her?
3 words to describe Miss Luna Lee. Intelligent, funny, and short. Favorite memory was probably me, Luna Lee, and Ashley Jaramillo going down to LA to eat together. That was the first time we all ever hung out, not at work. and it was a great time, and we've all been great friends since then.
And then what's just something you'd like to say to Miss Lee?
I would like to say thank you for being a great coworker and a great friend at Little Rock High, and that the students love and appreciate you very much, and we all do too, and we are going to miss you very, very much.
What's your name?
My name is Mr. Williams.
And what would you like to say to Mr. Ramirez?
All right. Larry, congratulations on retirement. It's been a pleasure working with you at Little Rock the past 7 years. I wish you the best. Enjoy the time with friends and family, and go Dodgers.
What's your name?
Matthew Borges.
And what was your first impression of Mr. Ramirez?
He was very welcoming. He took the time to come out and talk to me down in my room. What brought us together, I think, is our love of baseball and the Dodgers.
And what are 3 words you'd use to describe him?
Tenured, nice, and cares for his students.
What's like a favorite memory or a good memory you have with him?
I like being able to talk to him about baseball. Is kind of cool. He would come down to my room every now and then, and we'll talk about baseball. He would guide me, talk to me about my credential process, situations like that. So that was kind of nice, just having somebody here to kind of mentor me, even though we're not in the same department, just to kind of talk me through stuff. It was kind of nice.
And then what is just something you'd like to say to him?
Best of luck on your retirement.
I'm so tired, but I can't sleep.
Alright, what's your name?
Mr. Cooper.
And what was your first impression of Miss Pursley?
I met Miss Percy the very first day I was here. Me and her were new teachers at the same time, and I met her in the quad, and I said to her, do you know where room 126 is? And she looked at me and said, no. So that was my first impression. So my first impression was that she's very kind and funny individual.
Okay, and then what would you use 3 words to describe her?
She's definitely opinionated, interesting, and very kind and caring person.
And then what's like a funny moment you guys shared?
I think the funniest moment was she came to my class to observe bid one year, and she sat there, and when the class was over, she came and she looked at me and she said, Cooper, I don't know if anybody was listening, but I think it was good. And so it was a funny moment because I looked up and everybody was pretty much asleep. So.
Okay, and then what are some words like you just have to say to her?
So I would definitely say it was very fun working with you. I enjoyed our time together, and I wish you a wonderful time in retirement.
So I tasted that girl here.
All right.
All right, thank you.
This is for Bonnie Collins, aka Bonita. Bonnie was a paraeducator when I was a student back in 2001. She was a one-on-one with Jose Rangel, and really, Bonnie, we're going to miss you a lot at Little Rock. You were the glue that held so much of it together, from Mr. Crawford's class to Mr. Haynes' class. You're always the one that I could count on, and you're always so sweet and kind to me. I'll definitely miss you, friend. Also, if you ever take NCI training, realize Bonnie does not wait for one combo. She hits you with all 3 combos. And it's one of those where you would never expect it, but she gets crazy. And she was like punch, kick, and chop all at the same time. Bonnie, I'm going to miss you. Bonita! And I know that if we had more time for this video, I would have gone around to all the teachers and all the staff that have worked with you over the years. Thank you so much. And this is definitely one of those videos that I wish we had another like 2 or 3 weeks to film everything. As I edit this video together, I just want to say thank you all to the retirees. Thank you all to the people that have shaped the rock. Miss Persley's another lady that I was supposed to film a video for that Aaliyah was supposed to get to me, but we ran out of time. Miss Persley, it's been fun. We went through a lot of trainings, you, me, and Bonnie Miller, and so it was a lot of fun with those Capturing Kids' Hearts. So thank you again, everyone, and hopefully this video is just a nice way to say thank you, and you guys watch it again and just realize you've left a big impact at The Rock.